Hello and welcome back to Beckler Guitars and Repair, and today we're checking out this very colorful Danelectro. This is a 2012 Danelectro 59M NOS in Orange-adelic finish. It's kind of a rare finish. Alright, let's check it out. So I picked this one up locally, and yeah, wow, what a color. So yeah, this is a 2012 Danelectro 59M NOS. So this is kind of a reissue of the 59 Danelectro, same kind that Jimmy Page used to play. And the NOS is for these pickups. So these came with what was called new old stock pickups. So Danelectro had a bunch of these pickups in a warehouse, and they put them in these guitars, and they were 15 years old. So this is a 2012 with 15-year-old pickups put in back then. So the pickups are about 25 years old now. And I don't know if that means anything, but some pickup aficionados will say that once they age, they get better sound and they have less magnetism, stuff like this. I don't know if I subscribe to that, but I do know that these pickups do sound quite good. I plugged it in when I bought it. So yeah, Danelectro is a pretty interesting guitar company. They started in like 1947, and in the 50s and 60s they were known for being like a very budget-friendly guitar while still being really high quality and sounding really nice. A ton of rock stars used Danelectros throughout the years. Jimmy Page being, you know, a very famous guy who was using a 59 Danelectro. And up until very recently, they've always been really nice, budget-friendly guitars. I think the price of everything has kind of got up in the last couple of years, so I think Danelectros are a little bit more money than they used to be now. I think this is what this guitar equivalent would go for now. And just curious what they would go for in 2015. I'll look that up and put that on the screen now. So yeah, over the last, 10 years, there's been quite a bit of a price difference, but they're still really nice guitars for the money. And this is a Korean model. They've been made in a couple of different spots over the years, Indonesia and China and Korea. These Korean models now are going for a little bit of a premium because people like to build quality a little bit better. But they're pretty much made of all the same materials in each factory. And this guitar is in really nice shape. That Orange-adelic finish is what they call it, is a little bit rare. It's kind of hard to find on this year of this model, but it's a great color. It really pops. Kind of gives that creamsicle vibe. And yeah, so let's just go over some of the parts here. They're made with a masonite top. Masonite is like compressed fiberboard. It's kind of like MDF, but compressed to be higher density. And that's just what Danelectro has been made of, even back in the vintage examples. On the original, like vintage examples, you would have a metal bridge or a metal bridge plate and a rosewood saddle for the strings to sit on. The problem with those is that they're a little bit hard to intonate unless it's perfectly set up from factory. You don't have a lot of options in terms of controllability for the intonation. So they released these new models that have these wraparound tail pieces that have fully adjustable saddles. So you can really dial in the intonation on these models a lot better than on the vintage examples. And then these are our lipstick tube pickups. So these are single coils encased in like a metal tube, basically. This is their own proprietary pickups, and this is what they're most well known for because they have a very specific sound and they sound really nice. And then we've got two concentric potentiometers. So that just means that it's kind of a two-stage potentiometer. We've got the tone control on the top knob and then volume control on the bottom. It's kind of a cool idea. It just takes up less space on the pick guard. Then we've got a three-way pickup selector for bridge, middle, and neck. In the bridge, in the middle position, it brings these together kind of like a humbucker. So you kind of get a humbucker option in the middle position. And then the back is pretty signature Danelectro sound, which is like bright and kind of a jangly sound. Then we've got our big pick guard here. I believe that's made of masonite as well. We've got this kind of vinyl fabric that runs sideways across the body. A common problem with this, and it's happening on this one a little bit, is the vinyl starts to lift in a few spots over time. I think the material shrinks and then it starts to lift in a few spaces. It's pretty easy to fix. You just kind of sneak some super glue under there and hold it down, and that'll be fixed. So I'll go ahead and fix that on this one eventually. But yeah, really nice condition on this guitar, like not a scratch or ding on it. It's almost like mint. And this one has a nice rosewood fingerboard. I think the newer ones are Paul Ferro, but these older examples have the real rosewood. And it's quite a thick piece too if you look at the side. It's a nice thick piece of rosewood. These guitars have maple necks. It's got a 25-inch scale length and a 14-inch radius, so pretty flat. Aluminum nut. They're known for these having these aluminum nuts too, even on the vintage examples. And this one has a truss rod here. I believe it's a truss rod, not just a dummy truss rod. I'll check that later. Actually, let's check it now because I'm curious. Yes, so the actual truss rod adjustment is up on the headstock. I know some models you actually have to take off the neck to adjust the truss rod. So that's kind of a nice quality of life improvement on this specific model. And then we've got a bolt-on neck. I noticed the neck pocket on this one was nice and snug fitting. And then we've got our vintage style Danelectro tuners. I believe these are Korean parts as well. So they're pretty high quality. And there's our serial number. So the serial number means nothing. If you're trying to date it by the serial number, they don't really do it that way. And we can see it's made in Korea. And this is kind of another unique spec for Danelectros, is this is how you adjust your pickup height. So each one of these screws is attached to a metal bracket that encases the lipstick pickup. And then just the same way you would adjust like a humbucker pickup on the front of a guitar, loosening or tightening these screws will increase or decrease the height of the pickups in the front. So that's just kind of an interesting spec on Danelectros. Alright, this guitar feels really light. Let's go ahead and get some specs. So weighing in at a very light 6 pounds, 2.2 ounces, or 2.78 kilograms. So guitars this light are always likely to neck dive, but not this one. Stays exactly where it should. So our bridge pickup is reading a 3.64, and our neck pickup a 3.66, and in the middle position that puts them in series, so like a humbucker, and that gives you a 7.31. Let's take off the pick guard and see what the electronics look like here. So yeah, there we are. You can see they're using like full-size stacked pots for the concentric pots, and that's how you get your tone and volume out of the same pot. And they're using full size. That's nice to see. And then we've got our import style 3-way toggle. And yeah, the pickguard is indeed made of masonite, so this is actually what the top is made of as well, this compressed particle board stuff. And you can see here the sides are made of, well, like a plywood, and then they put the masonite on top. So yeah, this is a fully hollow guitar. Let's go ahead and get the endoscope out and just see what it looks like on the inside. Alright, going in with the endoscope here into the control cavity. And yeah, we can see that there's our plywood sides. And there's our center plywood block. You can see where the pickup is mounted there. So they have a block that runs up and down the middle, and that's where the pickups are routed and placed. And we can see our masonite top and bottom. It looks pretty clean on the inside here. And then I'm just going around to the other side of the block, on the other side of the horn. Yeah, you can see it's very well done. There's no squeeze out of glue or anything. It looks pretty clean on the inside. Alright, I just took the neck off quickly so we can have a look at the neck pocket. So the neck pocket is nice and clean. You can see it is still that plywood there, and it's a nice route there. There's no writing on there at all. And then a look at our neck here. Looks like there's some marker on there from the factory. I'm not sure if I can make that out. It's pretty hard to tell what that says, but it's likely just a factory marking. And in terms of a neck pocket fit, it's quite nice. You can see that it's quite a nice tight fit. You have to really kind of snap it into place. So yeah, that's a nice fitting neck. And here's a look at our bridge. So it's a wraparound tailpiece with adjustable saddles. You can also move the entire bridge back and forth to help with intonation in case you need a little bit extra room. I did check the intonation on this guitar and it was bang on, so whoever had this before had it well set up. And the body is just recessed where the bridge is, so the bridge posts actually mount to the plywood block that we saw in the body cavity. And then they recess the top so you have a little bit more room to go up and down for the action. So it's a pretty good system and it seems to intonate well. I wanted to take out one of the pickups so we can kind of see what they look like. So yeah, this is it. This is a single coil pickup wrapped in like a metal tube, and then it's mounted to this bracket that we can see in the in the pickup cavity there, that they have that piece of plywood there that they route into, and then there's a long screw coming from the back that attaches to these screw holes, and then the tension of the foam raises or lowers that pickup height using those screws. So that's pretty cool. And while the neck's off, let's have a quick look at our neck. Again, really nice shape, no scratches or dings anywhere on this guitar. And it's really nice to have the truss adjustment at this end, makes it a lot more convenient. There's a look at our aluminum nut. Looks like it's just screwed into the wood right there, and it's a well-cut nut. I checked that out when I bought it too. And the fretwork is really nice on this. There's no fret sprout at all, nice and smooth, and these frets are in really nice shape. They're quite nice and shiny. There's no binding when you do a bend at all. They're very smooth, and our fingerboard is like that really nice dark rosewood. So yeah, it looks great. Alright, managed to get a nice setup on this guitar. It was pretty well set up when I got it. So the action is nice and low. The neck's nice and straight, so there's very little relief in the neck. And then here at the 3rd fret, you can see when I use the 3rd fret that the strings are resting very gently against that 1st fret, so that tells us the neck is straight, the truss rod is set tight, and the nut is very well cut. So we've got good action there. And then here at the 12th fret, we can see that on our low E at the 12th fret, we're sitting at between a 1.25 and a 1.5 millimeters. And at the high E, between a 0.75 and a 1. So yeah, very nice low action. I checked all the frets with a fret rocker, and everything was nice and level. There was no high spots anywhere. I'm going to go ahead and go through the neck to make sure there's no buzzing or fretting out anywhere. I like to speed up this part, but if you want to hear it in real time, just slow down your player to 25%. So yeah, very nice low action with no buzzing or fretting out anywhere. And there's no fret sprout at all, just really buttery smooth. And I noticed this guitar is quite resonant when you play it just acoustically. think that's due to it being pretty semi-hollow, or it's pretty much almost fully hollow, just the plywood for the center block. So I guess it's semi-hollow. But yeah, it sounds good. Width of the nut is a 1.68 or 42.67 millimeters. And then at the 12th fret, it's a 2.06 or a 52.52 millimeters. Neck depth at the first fret is a 0.80 inches, 20.5 millimeters, and at the 12th fret, that is a 0.89 inches or a 22.64 millimeters. Here's a look at the neck profile. So it's a pretty standard C. It flattens out a little bit by the 12th, but stays pretty rounded. And yeah, it feels good. It's a little skinny, kind of a skinny, thinner neck. It feels like kind of a slim taper, like from Gibson, something like that. It feels good though. All right, I'm plugged into my trusty 1965 Fender Bassman. And here are my settings. I'm also using a Jim Jones GTO pedal for my overdrive. It's just a nice transparent germanium style overdrive. And I'm miking up a 212 cabinet with an SM57. And I'm using a condenser mic for the room. So let's just go through the clean tones in each position and then some dirt. So yeah, it sounds really great clean. I really like the jangle in the bridge position, and then you can get some nice darker tones out of the neck and the middle position. The middle position really fattens things up, so it really does sound like a humbucker. So yeah, very versatile. Let's go ahead and use a little bit of dirt. All right, final thoughts on the 2012 Danelectro 59M NOS in Orange-adelic orange. I've owned quite a few of these guitars over the years, and I've always sold them for one reason or another. I couldn't get along with the neck, or I wasn't quite happy with the pickup sound, or I couldn't get the action as low as I wanted, or there was neck dive. They were always great guitars, but always just little problems. But this one checks all the boxes. It's super light, it's nice and resonant, it's easy to play. It plays with super low action. I really love the pickup sound on these aged pickups, and everything about it is just great. Stays in tune really well. It's got a really nice big thick rosewood fingerboard. If I had to have one criticism, I would say in the humbucker position, the pickups get a little bit dark, but again, you can easily adjust that on your amp to make it quite usable. It still sounded great the way it was. If you have a chance to pick one of these up, especially the Korean versions, I would say go for it. They're really great guitars, and they're going up in value. But that's going to be it for today. Thank you for tuning in to Beckler Guitars and Repair, and I'll have more for you really soon. Thanks a lot.